Well, today's video is all about one thing: promotion. Can we get ourselves promoted to the Premier League with our final 2 league games to play? Spoiler, we've only won 2 of our last 5 though, and our last 2 games were not wins. Making it a little bit tricky for ourselves. Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part 15 of Club 2 of my career here on Football Manager. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where we are playing those final 2 games of the season. First one away from home against Fulham and the second one at home against Birmingham City. And then we will see where we end in the table. At the moment, we're second. We are 1 point off the top. We have the far superior goal difference between the two, of the league in general. Our goals conceded is the thing that saved us, ironically, and our goal scored is the second best. I actually thought it would be the other way around, but then scoring goals has been a bit of an up and down thing in the last few games. But yeah, it has been a bit of an interesting recent run. I'll quickly show you how it's looking. Now, I'm going to be in the way of some of these teams, so if you give me a moment. Huzzah! There we go. So, as you can see, you obviously were here for West Brom and Man City. I believe that's the way around we did it. We then beat Bristol City 7-2. They are the team at the top of the championship. We dog walked them is the best way I can describe it. We absolutely destroyed them, and it was a beautiful thing to see. We then lost against Sheffield Wednesday the following game away from home. That was a bit disappointing. Despite Josh Phillips's best efforts of scoring a couple of goals, didn't do very well. We then did win 2 on the bounce, beat Cardiff 2-0 at home, Coventry 1-0 away. A very disappointing loss against Sunderland though. We couldn't get anything going in this game. You can see it was just poor performances all around. At Middlesbrough, I was getting a little bit fed up because a lot of the games, although there were high scores, we have been struggling. We had that stretch here that was a bit of a struggle. I did go for a 4-3-1-2, so there's a flat 3 in the midfield with the attacking midfielder. So basically the defensive midfielder just moved up to be a central midfielder. For 60 minutes of the game, it looked great to watch. They had a few chances, but it looked great. But then we collapsed in the final 20 minutes, and that broke me a little bit. That broke me just a tad, and that leaves us where we are. If we win that game rather than get a point, we're top of the championship at the moment. So that was a bit of a difficult one to take. But if we actually have a look at the championship table and everything, I'm just going to move myself back over. There we go. As you can, in fact, no, I'm not going to move myself back over because I'm in the way of the table. So, put me back over there. As you can see with everything, we're still in a very strong position. We're guaranteed the playoff place. That's lovely. We need to have a calamitous 2 games to end the season for us to not get promoted. I'm more focused on that at this point than I am the title, but it would be nice to win a title. The championship title, obviously, it is what it is. I would love to do it. I am not overly concerned if we don't. Just what I don't want us to do is lose both games and just let this automatic promotion place slip away, which is what I'm a little bit afraid is going to happen with how we've been doing, especially with the last 2 league games. Now, I am probably overreacting a little bit because the form's not been terrible. It's just been very up and down. But just this bit of form here, considering how the rest of the season was. But then we did start kind of a bit up and down, and then we just had this golden period in the middle. So, I don't know. Maybe this is just us settling back in, which is a bit of a concern if we do get promoted. I'll find it very difficult to believe we're not going to get promoted, but, we're certainly making it hard work for ourselves. But that's how things are kind of looking. Now, on to today's game. I am going with a diamond. The kind of tactic that we used for the Middlesbrough game was effectively this. So 3 midfield, he was a supporter. The deep line playmaker was on defend. Again, worked brilliantly. It probably did leave us a little bit exposed here, but to be honest, for the first 60 minutes, we dealt with everything fine. They did have chances, we dealt with them, and then we just collapsed. So I think if this was earlier in the season, I'd explore this a bit more, but I just think we've had so much more success with this kind of diamond. I'm going to go with it. Now, the one thing I am doing is I am putting Busquets in the deep line playmaker role at the base of the midfield on support. I just want him to push a tiny bit further forward than he has been doing, because the defensive midfield slot is one we've not really solved all season. So let's just do that and do something different. But this is going to be the 11 for the game against Fulham. A Fulham who are currently in 14th. They do not currently have anything really to play for. If we have a look, they're on 55 points. Playoffs is in the 70s. They've got nothing to play for. This should be a bit of a layup, but we'll see what happens. We will just have a quick look at Bristol City's 2 fixtures left, though. Let's have a quick nose at them. They are playing West Brom and Preston. I mean, West Brom are currently 4th, and Preston are currently 17th. They've got a very similar run-in to us, because Birmingham, remember, are in the playoffs as well. So it's a very, very similar run-in that we have. So this is going to be a little bit spicy. So let me just move back to the correct side. There we go. And this is the 11. It's going to be Iverson in goal, Shahar, Fish, Hall and McCallum in defence. Busquets, Doherty, Udene and Azaz in the midfield with Sims and Phillips up front. Phillips has literally just returned from an injury. I probably should start Scully, who did do well in his last game, but I want Phillips in there because he's got that trio partnership with Sims and Azaz. Sims, by the way, recommended as one of the players who could be the Championship Player of the Season. Phillips, Young Player of the Season. I just want that trio playing, and I want to get our best players out there. The only one who I'd consider as one of our best players not on the pitch is Piccolo, but he's been in a rotten run of form. Like, just, I don't know what it is, but he has just dropped off. I mean, that game against West Brom was one of the better games he's had recently, but since then he has not looked particularly great. So maybe I do throw him in instead of Doherty, but Doherty had a good game last time. So I think Doherty, if he doesn't do well at half-time, will be replaced by Piccolo. We then have the set pieces, and then we do have our secret weapon in Aaron Henry, who has been a weapon as a substitute for us. He's been so good. So we'll just see what happens. There's nothing else we can do. Let's just get to the game. By the way, if you have enjoyed the series so far and you're enjoying this episode and you want to see how we do, don't forget, leave a like on there for me, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos in the future and you don't miss any of the nonsense that comes out this face, because it's all nonsense. Right. Game time. Let's get to it. Let's see whether we can get ourselves promoted today or whether we have to do what we did in League One and go through the dreaded playoffs. Of course, that was a very nice surprise because we didn't expect to be fair, this season we haven't expected to be anywhere near here. Let's be clear on that. But last season we really didn't expect it, and to be anywhere near the playoffs was an absolute joy. It's been quite clear for the majority of the season we've been good enough to be a playoff team, but we've also shown we're good enough to be that kind of one of the promoted teams automatically as well. And it will be upsetting if we don't commit to that, because we have been stunning all season other than a couple of periods, and it will be a shame if one of those couple of periods is what does us in. I've got a feeling it might do. Just the last 2 games really did fill me with a bit of a sense of dread. But here we are. We're here at Craven Cottage. It's Fulham versus Charlton, and we're looking to get ourselves a win just to keep up to date with Bristol City, who are already in the lead against West Brom. So the pressure is on now. I'm, again, not too bothered if we can't win the Championship title. The main thing is I don't want to finish lower than seconds. We ideally want to be going into the final game of the season with more than a 3-point gap between ourselves and third place, just so we can kind of breathe a little bit easier and then maybe go for it a bit more against Birmingham and try and get ourselves that Championship title and hope that Bristol City can just slip up. It's kind of where we're at this point. I don't know about you. The game is adjusting just a little bit, which is a bit of a concern, but we'll power on as best we can. Right, Azaz, he's tackled there. I was hoping one of our players might get on the end of that. They haven't. And here come West Brom, although Busquets does a good job at mopping up there. He's not acting as a sweeper, but he has swept things up nicely. Right, Fish, getting it forward to Doherty. Doherty chipped over to Ellis Sims, who might be the Championship Player of the Season, but the goal is not coming. It's ended up as a corner, and we are going to see whether we can get this on the end of one of the big lads. I don't know who our big lads are. I've kind of forgotten. It's whipped in. Fish is there. Fish is one of the big lads. I think Hall is quite a large gentleman as well. Height-wise, I just want to point out. I'm not one to talk. Didn't lead to anything. McCallum now. He has got a short corner available to him. Takes it. It's poor. We've really wasted that. But fortunately, so have Fulham. And we ended up with a throw-in that didn't obviously lead to anything. We've looked good so far in this game, but we haven't really had many chances in open play. And it would be nice to see some of those. Right, we have a throw-in. McCallum gets the ball to Udene. Into Busquets. Busquets. Back to McCallum. McCallum looking to whip it in. Goes for a low cross. Gets it into the feet of Phillips. Udene makes it 1-0. And we lead at Craven Cottage. I have changed in our tactics as well. We're low crossing. I am sick to death of seeing crosses floated into our strikers, both of whom are meant to be good in the air, and just nothing coming of it. It's just been useless. So a low cross leads to the goal. Phillips gets a rare, well, let's say rare assist. He's not known for making goals. He's known for putting the ball in the back of the net. but he actually helps the ball get in the back of the net today by passing it to Udene, and it is 1-0. More of the same, please. Let's not let up there. And McCallum gives the ball away straight away in the next highlight. And here comes Quizera for Fulham. Pass it to Kual into Seema. We need to try and get the ball off of him here, boys. They don't get the ball off of him, but the shot doesn't really do anything, and it will be a goal kick. Right. How are Bristol City doing? They're off the list, which is a little bit annoying. I'm assuming from the points that they are still in the lead, but I don't know whether it's by 1 or more. I'm happy with that. I'll take 1-0 at half-time, but we just need to push on a little bit. Right, I'm going to say keep it up. I don't want to put too much pressure by mentioning promotion. We had a pre-game team talk with them, and we said let's treat it as another game. That's what we're going to do today. Right, we're going to tell you two, you're not doing very well. Step it up a little bit. McCallum's not had the best of games. I'm actually all right with Busquets. Busquets has not had a bad one. So we won't say anything bad to him. Shahar's not looked at his best today, which is a bit of a shame. And we'll just tell you to do a little bit better. Not changing anything. Doherty had a good game. He's staying on. He's earned himself a reprieve on the pitch. They're playing with a cheeky little inverted wing back coming into the middle here. So maybe we target down this side a little bit. Shahar really should be... It's not even going to be Shahar, actually. It's McCallum. Hume's actually moved into the middle there, which is interesting. Right, ball's whipped in. And it's 1-1. There we go. We haven't taken our chances, and that's what happens. Right, fire the boys up. It's fine. It's away from home. It's a point. A point could still be helpful in terms of promotion. I'd love to win the title. I'd love to come first. First is not the be-all and end-all today. Top 2 is. So it's fine if we concede. But let's just see whether we can get a goal back. And let's just see whether we can make it 2-1. We've got the players to do it. But they're all over us in this half at the moment. But let's just push on a little bit. Doherty started to drop down a little bit. Right. I'm going to demand more from the boys because they have been all over us in this half. It's substitute o'clock. Let's go with Doherty off. Although he's had a good game, he is tiring. So we'll bring on Piccolo. And we'll make him that. I forgot to change Udene back to attack. So we'll do that now. Azaz's had a very poor game. So Bernat can come on. Bernat is very much not at the level we need him to be anymore, which is a bit of a concern. And McCallum's been poor as well. So we'll bring on Watts. Haven't got the other guy on the bench, so Watts will have to do. We'll go with that. And we'll just try and fire the boys up a little bit more. We'll go attacking as well. Come on. It looks like Bristol City, looking at the points, have been pegged back. They're now down from 90 to 88, so they must be drawing against West Brom. West Brom have come back into it. Maybe doing us a favour here, West Brom, in terms of the Championship title. Again, that's not the be-all and end-all. That's not what we're here to do. But anything helps. Anything helps at all. Right, Udene to Busquets. Getting it to Piccolo. Piccolo back to Fish. Right, he has got Shahar out wide. Shahar's on a 6.3. He's had a terrible game. But he's managed to find Bernat. And Bernat now looking to get it into Sims. And it is just nudged wide by one of the defenders. We are so close to a second goal there, but we cannot get it. Right, corner. Piccolo, the set-piece maestro, is on the pitch. The French David Beckham whipping it in. Can't find anyone. Oh, we're just not that good at set-pieces at the moment. Piccolo whipping it in, though. Looking for the head of Phillips. Can't quite find him. Busquets can't get there to Quizera. Quizera is just waiting for someone to come into a dangerous position, but the highlight, fortunately for us, does end. Right, come on, boys. Ball to Fish. Fish. I'm thinking Shahar has to come off here. I'm keeping him on for the moment, just in case he produces some magic. I remember that wonder goal he scored. If he can do another one of those, it'd be amazing. Right. Come on, lads. Bit more urgency. Busquets. Looking for Udene. Udene. Doesn't go out wide. Decides to go backwards. Watts now into Udene. Goes past his man. Udene. Looking to whip it in. He's looking for Sims. And Sims puts it wide. Oh! Oh, my Lord. That should be 2. That should be 2-1. It's not. Oh, God, right. Shahar's got to come off. On comes Edmonds Green. And, I mean, Ellis Sims, he's had chances today. He's not taken them. Scully is going to come on. And we'll go with last season's front 2. But I'm thinking Busquets off as well. Just add a bit more dynamic ability into the midfield. Do we do that, maybe? Do you know what? I'm going to do that, actually. So, Busquets is going to come off. Henry's going to come on. Yes, he's going to be deeper, but it's fine. And do I do what we did? I mean, No, I'll leave it at that. Henry can come on. I feel like he's more of a game changer than Scully. Right. Fire up. Come on, last few minutes. Bristol City look like they're still drawing against West Brom. We might have done enough here. But Sunderland have yet to play. Right, it's a draw away from home at Craven Cottage. I'm not upset about that, although we were the better team. Very much so. Again, cutting edge, we just lack it every now and then. I'm going to say that one. I'm going to leave everything else. Right, Sunderland are the team that are going to decide whether we get promoted before... No, actually, I've just realised it's not going to be possible. West Brom are 3 points behind us. I didn't quite realise. But they did draw against Bristol City. So we are fortunate in terms of it's still in our destiny. But we have got a tiny bit more breathing room. Basically, we just need a point. A point and we get promoted. So, in terms of matches... 3-3. An absolute thriller at Bristol City. So West Brom still in automatic promotion chasing. As are Sunderland. Sunderland still have to play, of course, against Middlesbrough, who are out of playoff contention. Wow. Okay. Give me a moment. I'm going to quickly get to that game. And we'll just see what the result is and see where we stand going into the final day of the season. Okay, the game in question has actually gone in our favour. It is 3-1 to Middlesbrough, which means the championship table currently looks like this. So, Sunderland, if they'd have won that game, would have been on 86 points. They would have been right behind us. But because Middlesbrough have done us the favour, basically, it means that we basically need to lose in order to have any chance of not getting promoted. Now, I don't quite know what the rules of it will be. It's basically, it'll go down to goal difference. We are basically promoted. We are basically promoted. If it goes down to goal difference, we're golden. I mean, Birmingham City would be the only one really at threat to us, but they're nowhere near us in terms of points. Sorry, I got a hiccup there. And by that I mean that there's 1 point extra. We are effectively promoted. So I'm not too worried going into this final game. But the question is, can Preston slip up Bristol City, and can Birmingham City do us a favour? Birmingham City in their last game, I didn't really keep an eye on how they did. They beat Cardiff. So let's see whether we can do a bit better than Cardiff did. Let's see whether we can end the season with a win rather than yet another draw. I say yet another draw. We have had quite a few draws recently, to be fair. So it'd be nice if we can end the season at the Valley on a high before we get to the Premier League. Then we have to cross that bridge. Well, it is all to play for, but also not at the same time. Again, we have that 3-point advantage over the next team, West Bromwich Albion. Technically, they can catch us and match that point total, but we've got a 16-point goal advantage. I don't think there's going to be a 16-point goal swing on the final day of the season. So we're more or less safe in terms of getting promoted, and we still have an outside chance at the title if Preston decide they want to get all fancy on us. Fun fact, Portsmouth have actually secured survival as well, so that's quite nice, although Stockport are going straight back down. So 2 of the 3 promoted teams from last season in League One will be remaining in the Championship, which is good to see. I think in terms of the teams who were relegated from the Premier League last season, I mean, who was it again? It was Leeds, Burnley, Norwich, none of whom are in contention for promotion. Leeds are the nearest. They're fighting to get back into the playoffs. Burnley are mid-table. Norwich are... In fact, Leeds and Norwich are both trying to fight for that one place. So that's going to be an interesting battle to keep half an eye on. But then the other team, was it Burnley? It was Burnley, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Burnley. They're not having a very good time with it at all. So there is a chance that one of those 2 promoted relegated teams, could get into the playoffs. But unlikely, I would say. Now, this is going to be the 11 for the final game of the season against Birmingham, who are in the playoffs. And I'm going for what I think is going to be my strongest 11 in terms of player ability. Iverson in goal, no question about that. Shahar, absolutely. He's been fantastic for us, although he didn't have a good game last time out. Hasn't had a good last 5 games, actually, but we're keeping the faith. Fish and Hall, without question, our best centre-back partnership. McCallum, without question, our best left back. Henry as defensive deep line playmaker. I think he's had a better season overall than Busquets. In terms of goals and assists, not as many kind of... I don't know. It's comparable in terms of assists. Goals, obviously, we play Henry in a more advanced position normally. But Henry has not played anywhere near as many starts. He's had 15 starts, 18 sub-appearances. Busquets has had 31 starts, 6 sub-appearances. I know which one I'm preferring. Piccolo, definitely one of our best central midfielders. He comes in. Doherty's unhappy because we didn't give our goalkeeper any starts. He's trash. That's the reason why. But I did promise him. So he's not very happy. And I imagine a few other players are going to be unhappy as well. But we go with Piccolo. He's had a few games out. He's got a light match load. Okay, his sharpness isn't all the way there. But he should just be about okay to start. And I think he'll be absolutely fine. But we'll keep half an eye on him and see whether he can come good. Udene, very good last time out. He starts, one of our best midfielders. And Finn Azaz, he's had a shocking last few games. He's had a shocking game last time out, but he's still one of our best players. Ellis Sims and Josh Phillips up front. I don't need to describe why they're there. There's a lot of risk going on in this game. Now, I am going to put Diego Sanchez on the bench. We'll pop him on here for... I don't really know who I want to lose, to be fair. They're all good options to keep. But I kind of want to get rid of Doherty because of his sass. But I know he could come good. So, do I take Watts? But Watts is a good central defender. But then Wiradoo. I mean, Wiradoo hasn't played a lot of football recently because the defensive midfield role has been such a tricky one. Do you know what? Sanchez can stay there. We can always bring on Watts. Watts did okay in the last game. Right. Birmingham City. Haha. The fact that I'm an Aston Villa fan definitely adds a little bit of extra spice to this game, but I mean, I will take whatever result. I'm just going to move that a little bit. There we go. Whatever result is needed to get us to the Championship, to get to Premier League. We're already in the Championship. Whatever result is needed. A lot has to happen for us to not get an automatic promotion place, and we have a chance, a potential outside chance at winning the Championship in the process. I don't really care about that. We shouldn't be in this position to get ourselves automatically promoted. Therefore, I will take what we can get. It is apparently sold out here at the Valley. As you can see, Birmingham City not able to get automatic promotion. They're pretty much, in fact, they're confirmed actually. There's only one team that isn't confirmed in the playoffs at the moment, that being Sheffield Wednesday. So, not really anything to play for from their point of view. So maybe, just maybe we can just put a bit of pressure on them. Although they do start with the early momentum and the early highlight. Will the pressure get to us? Right, Birmingham City with the ball now. Looking to get the ball back into the midfield. They're passing it around nicely through their defence. We should be pressing them. We are a little bit. Right, we need to start trying to get the ball off of them here. We're not really doing a good job of that at the moment. And Ngakia looking to whip it in. He does so. Iverson is there to collect though. Right, get the ball out. Find someone. Let's go and get an attack going. If we can, please, boys. Maybe. Iverson, anything? He's going to launch it, isn't he? I don't want him to launch it. Oh, he didn't, actually. Goes to Hall. Hall now. Goes to Udene. Udene. Into Azaz. Azaz. Looking for Phillips. Phillips. What's he going to do? Piccolo. I was nervous with Phillips on the ball because other than scoring, he's not particularly good at anything. Right, that was a good move that's broken down. And now Birmingham City come at us again here. We were quite tentative. They're running at us. And that is a penalty from Henry, who I've praised to high heaven. And he's given away a penalty on the final day of the season. And it is 1-0 to Birmingham City. Right, I really want to win this game. So I am not messing around. We're going attacking straight away. We need to show a little bit more oomph. We need to show a little bit more in terms of wanting to get at them. And at the moment, we're not doing that. So let's get at them a bit more. Let's get a bit more attacking. Let's do a bit more with the ball when we've got it. Let's show a little bit more of our teeth. And let's just try and batter the door down and get through them. Because, again, they've got nothing to play for. We do. And at the moment, Bristol City are losing. We cannot afford to waste this opportunity. We cannot afford it. And yet we are. We're not having chances at the moment. Not having chances at all. It is poor from us as it stands. And it's a highlight to Birmingham City. Goodness me, lads. We need to be better than this. Come on, especially if we're going to be in the Premier League next season. need a squad overhaul next season. I think well, I mean, that's going to be no surprise to anyone that I'm saying that, because it is a huge jump. Right, Phillips now loses the ball. We should not be passing the ball to Phillips. We know he's not a good passer, and yet we are doing it. Oh God, that is quite disappointing. Right, can we get the ball off of them? It's a brilliant ball through. I tell you what, that is a lovely pass, and yeah, there it is. 2-0 at half time. I think we're seeing the season out with a loss, and that does concern me. That does concern me greatly. That pass, I tell you what, I love that pass. But then we shouldn't be conceding that. That is sloppy. That is so sloppy. I'm going to shout at the boys at half time. We're going to make a bunch of changes. It's another poor performance from Azaz. Really poor performance from Azaz. I'm going to throw the water bottle. You two, really, really poor performances. You two need to get back into it. Hall, not good enough. You, not good enough. You, really not good enough. And you two, we need you to do that. Right, changes. Well, Finn Azaz is injured, so I will let him off a little bit. So here's what we're going to do. Udene is going to go to here. And we'll leave him as an attacking midfielder. Azaz is going to come off for Doherty. For not Doherty, Busquets. I'm not going to bring Doherty on. And I'm going to do what I was going to considering doing the last game. We're going to go to this. We'll put Busquets there. Henry can get further forward and go further out as he prefers to. And I'm going to change Udene back to... In fact, no, I am. I'm going to change it to attack. And we'll get him going further forward. I will go with that to begin with, and if we need any more changes, then Scully can come on as a third striker. But we need the fullbacks to start performing. McCallum has got to come off for Kellen Watts. He's got to. So we'll do that to begin with. And, I mean, we're pressing as high. I mean, we're going to take that off, actually. We're going to stop pressing up quite as much as we have been. And I'm thinking what else we can potentially do. Still on low crosses. I'm going to go narrow as well. We're going to, again, try and play through the middle. Go for underlaps as well. We're on attacking already. Let's go with that. I'll tell you to get out there and make a difference. And we'll tell you to do that. Right, we've turned them around after having a go at them. Let's fire the boys up. Let's just see whether we can get ourselves back in with those changes. Again, this 4-3-1-2 that I've changed to, that first half, or the first 60 minutes against Middlesbrough, it looked so good. And then we just collapsed. Big ball in. And that is such a good opportunity. Oh, my word. Straight away, we look like a different team. Straight away, we look like a different team. Right, Henry with the corner. Whipping it in. Again, our set-piece game has been really, really poor recently. We've got a good set-piece coach, but... I have tweaked it myself. Maybe I need to go back and retweak it. But, yeah, it's so unfortunate. Preston still losing as well. Birmingham City have just decided to turn up and just ruin our season. Well, not ruin our season, but ruin our final day today, which is so disappointing. Again, they're just all over us, and I don't get it. Right, here's what we're doing. We're going to get stuck in. Don't really want to, but we will. Get stuck in on them. We're just not able to get through them. They have been... I mean, I can't remember what the result was, but I remember them being quite difficult to play against last time we played against them. They were a tough team. Right, Ellis Sims has had a shocker. Udene has had a shocker. Piccolo's not played well. The entire team is just playing so bad. They've scored a third. I'm really worried about the Premier League. If we can't beat Birmingham City... That's a good free kick. I'll let us off with that one. I'm still going to shout at them because we shouldn't be letting them do that to us. Iverson's had a poor game. We've just kind of capitulated towards the end of the season. Okay, we've done enough to get promoted, but it's not enough to make me happy about the fact that we're getting promoted, because I'm worried that we have too much to do to this squad to survive now. Oh, it's so bad. Bristol have now levelled though, so it's now at the point where even if we were winning, it doesn't. Actually, no. If we were winning this game, it would matter. We would be winning the championship at this point. Do you know what? Let's get the championship title out of our heads. Back-to-back promotions is an incredible achievement. I'm disappointed in the way that we've kind of really struggled to get there. Oh my God, we can't even put the ball in the back of the net. Our goal scoring has been shocking. I don't know how much, in the grand scheme of things, training affects things. I know it does, but I don't know how much it does. But I know I feel more confident in my team's abilities when I can control the training. And I've obviously said, until I get the Continental Pro license, we will not be touching training. That is the one that we're currently kind of studying for in the game. So we're not far off having that license and being able to take control of training. I can't wait. Phillips, can he get a goal here to finish the season off? He can get a goal to finish the season off. It's too late to do anything, but it might help him get top goal scorer in the league. And I'm really happy that we've managed to do something here, because we've been really poor. Birmingham City, fair play to them. They are a playoff team. They're a difficult team to play against, but we have got out of the season with a whimper here, and it is concerning to me. And we do end the season with a defeat, but with promotion. We are, as of next season, a Premier League team. I am furious with the defence, furious with the midfield, and I'm not happy with the strikers either. We have a lot of work to do next season, but promotion it is. Birmingham City end up 1 point off of us, so we are lucky that results have got us to the point where we got that 1 point. Leeds have ended up with that final playoff spot as well. What's our budget? Oh my word! Do you see that transfer budget? Okay, I'm still concerned, but that transfer budget makes me feel a lot better, because that is something we can do stuff with. But we need to do some serious surgery on this squad, because there's a lot of players here who are not good enough. He's not one of them. He absolutely is, but he needs better service. I mean, Finn Azaz has collapsed as the season's gone on. I'm kind of glad to be seeing the back of him. Leo Shahar is unfortunate because he's been really good for us, but again, he's had a bit of a collapse in the last few games. But he has been a sensational right back for us, so I will try and get him back. But that is a serious amount of money. I mean, if each player is... If we can get, I don't know, players at a value of 5 million, that's 7 players. Which is ambitious, I know. But I mean, let's just, again, let me just move myself back over. That is a serious kind of collapse of form at the end of the season. That game in particular against Birmingham. I mean, last time we played Birmingham, it was... I've probably gone past it, actually. It was a draw at their place. We should have won that game. If we drew then, we should have won this one. That is concerning. But, again, the main thing, more than anything, is that we have got promoted to the Premier League. I'm going to keep doing that. How did we do top goal scorer wise? Phillips ended up top goal scorer, which is great. He's also the second best player in the league. Brilliant. I'm delighted he's got that. He was tipped as the favourite for it, and he has fulfilled that promise now, which is great. We need him to improve. I want to sink some proper training into him once we have the ability to. Again, as I mentioned, I don't know whether this will make any difference at all, but I am studying for Continental Pro. I don't know when that will come through. I'm assuming it will be over the summer, at which point I can then hopefully start to build the squad and the training regiment around the squad as best as I can to get the tactic a little bit better. I could also be talking a lot of waffle. There is also the other thing. Although we've got promoted, do we look at available jobs, and do we look at whether we can go anywhere? I'm not suggesting we do this, but I don't know. The aim of the save, of course, remember, is to get ourselves to being a Champions League winner. Do we look at other jobs? At the moment, there's no other jobs available. There might be at the end of the respective seasons, because again, we're only on the 1st of May. So, I don't know. Do we maybe look at jumping somewhere? I don't think so. I think I actually quite like, with that budget, I'd like to quite see what we can do in the Premier League and just see how it goes. But that is going to be it for today's video. I'm going to kind of do a bit of prep before we get to the next episode and see what I think we need to do in terms of getting our squad to the point where we think it's going to be good enough. At the moment, we have got an additional £131,000 a week and £35 million. What we do also need to bear in mind, though, is there's going to be players who will want a significant pay increase for being in the Premier League. So we do need to contend with that. But I'm going to go away. I'm going to consolidate. I'm going to look at what we've got, look at what we need to do, come up with a battle plan, and then we'll review the season and get ourselves ready for the big time. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a big like on there for me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. You can keep up to date with all of the future videos to come in the future. My name is Stu. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you in the Premier League. Cheers.